got something really exciting about Bernie Sanders, and it has to deal with a rally in Iowa, and it has to deal with his campaign with Alexandria
I'm
Ocasio
sure it was
Cortez.
very
Oh,
small.
I'm sure. Well, you didn't hear about it on the news. You didn't hear about MSNBC.
What's
and
happening?
I'm sure I
CNN?
missed it.
What?
You didn't hear it?
The Joe Scarborough twins.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. You know, Bernie Sanders just held like the largest rally in all of Iowa's history.
What?
Yeah,
That's absurd.
that's
How many,
news to
what?
everybody.
People attending a Bernie Sanders event in mass numbers? You're crazy.
Largest in history, people are saying over there.
Largest in history. You're crazy.
In history, yeah. So
what's the number?
Total was 6,500 people, and that's just three events total.
like
So at
one
one event, there was 2,400 people, which could be the largest rally for a candidate in all of Iowa's history.
1% of Iowa. I mean, isn't
Come
it?
on. Hey,
isn't it?
Hey, leave the people of Iowa alone. They
I'm
make
not-
my
hey,
favorite.
hey,
They
no-
make my favorite
Hey,
drink there.
I'm not
okay?
calling anything. Can people in chat just let me know how many people live in Iowa? I thought it was like 600,000. I don't know.
And did you see the picture of like Kamala Harris? There's a picture of Kamala Harris, but like outside of like this abandoned, like
She calls it a representation of my
shed.
campaign.
yeah, a shed or something, and there's like 3 people there.
Oh my god!
And they literally posted that on social media, thinking that's a good idea.
They probably were like, it's better than not posting anything.
Yeah,
because we don't
gotta
have
do
anything
something.
else.
It's
like
so sad.
She should just go into a diner and just like turn around and have them take a picture of all the people in the diner, because then there at least be more people behind her.
It was really sad. But if
mean,
that was like anybody else, it'd be all over the news, all over the news. But it's Bernie
Hold on.
Sanders.
I'm actually seeing Paul who wants to come on the mic real quick.
Just a real quick population of Iowa, 3.156 million. It is the 31st ranked state in population.
It's slightly more than 600,000, just a little. I apologize,
people,
Iowa.
you
You have
say?
more people than I thought.
3.15 million.
3.15.
I was
million.
off by like
Well
six.
done. Well done, people.
Six
of
times.
Iowa. All right.
I apologize. That's on
How
me.
dare you?
Well,
Hey, I'm sorry I don't know the population of Iowa off the top of my head. I've been there. It looked very sparse, but I'm
very
glad you guys have more people. Go Iowa.
Yeah, so it looks like Bernie Sanders has a lot more support than the polls are saying. So that's the thing, though. That's what they want to black out, is like the ground, like what's going on the ground is like what says it all.
Right.
But no one else is bringing out this much people and out of all the candidates. So this really shows you how faulty polling is, because we've talked about this before. Who the hell has a landline, and who the hell answers unknown numbers? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
we actually did have members of our audience say that, hey, we got landline phones, so don't make fun of us.
also-
We promised we wouldn't do that, Eric.
And but we also have people that say they have landlines and no one calls them.
that's true.
Wow.
It also aged so that they look
They
at
want
that.
people that have voted 2012 and after.
Yeah, and if they're old.
Yeah, they want old. They basically are like, what is Biden's district? Let's call those people.
Right. So
Well,
I really think Bernie is gonna pull it off there in Iowa.
And it's caucus state.
Something to,
Yeah.
it's caucus day.
And that's caucuses are all about energy and who has energy? Joe Biden. Wait, no. Wait, is it Kamala? No,
because Kamala is shutting down her entire
Is it Buttigieg?
campaign.
No, he has.
It's that one guy who just brought out the largest group of people.
Can't talk about it. It's
A
corporate
million
media.
volunteers. What's his name? Oh yeah, Bernie Sanders.
What's his name? Elizabeth Warren.
No.
Wait, that's not
No,
it.
see, again, who else is commanding these large crowds? It's Bernie Sanders. Who else is getting people to attend and volunteer for his campaign? It's Bernie Sanders. Warren, Biden, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, they're done. Pete Buttigieg, they're done. What they represent is the establishment.
Pete
And-
Bourgeois.
Oh,
Ooh, there we go.
zinger.
Let that
Let's use
stand.
that.
Yeah.
But
That's a new
nonetheless,
T-shirt.
But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I mean,
I
this
copied
is
that
the
from
issue.
Jacobin.
This is the issue with money in politics. This is the issue when we have such a corrupt system. And the thing is, how are you going to make the voters excited to vote for you? Well, it's not by running safe neoliberal policies or trying to pretend to be like Bernie Sanders. You have to be authentic. You have to be real, and you have to have a voting record. And Bernie Sanders has the progressive voting record. He's been consistent for 40 plus years.
I want to say one quick thing before we move on, and I want someone in chat from Jackson Porter. It's a little off topic, but I think we could mention it anyway. What did you guys think of ranked choice voting winning in New York City? I love it. I think I'm speaking for the entire team. People can correct me if I'm wrong. we are immense fans of ranked choice voting. It's not
yeah.
not all
Yeah.
the way. It doesn't do everything, but it's a hell of a
Much
lot better
better.
than not having it.
Can I mention something real quick, and then we'll Paul and then Eric with the final word. I believe in ranked choice voting. Now, there's no such thing as a perfect system, but I think now more than ever, especially with our corrupt system here in the city of Chicago, it would be refreshing to see something like that, because we have people who've been in office for district wards for 50 plus years. Wrap your heads around that one, Paul.
And also, before Paul gets him, I know I'm going to cut him off again. I apologize, Paul. It also shuts up the entire idea of third parties being a spoiler vote. So you can shut everyone that's like, oh, Jill Stein's bad. I must think she's Russian somehow. You can shove it up your ass if there's ranked choice voting.
Right.
Yeah.
And shove it up your ass anyways.
Yeah, if there's ranked choice voting twice.
Paul,
I want to
Paul.
point out one of the things I always point out. I really love ranked choice voting. It's extremely important to be able to put your candidates in an order that you prefer, so you can say, I like this person better than that person, and this person better than that person. Ranked choice voting, as we generally describe it in the United States, is what's called instant runoff voting, which is mathematically problematic because it still is somebody has to get more than 50% of the vote. It's still first past the post voting that still mathematically trends toward two parties. It doesn't fundamentally solve the two-party issue, even though we're allowed to rank our candidates. I like to rank my candidates, but I don't like instant runoff as a tabulation method. So if you look into it, personally, I like the Condorcet method. It has its shortcomings, but mathematically it's extremely sound. There are also methods like the Coombs tabulation method that's very simply described. That would be like your number one vote your rank one vote gets one vote, your rank two vote gets 1/2 of a vote, your rank three vote gets 1/3 of a vote, then 1/4, and so on, and you just tabulate them all.
Yeah.
But by eliminating the lowest vote person from each round, you essentially still say, well, one person at the end of the day has to get 51% to win, and that ends up being an argument that's used, and though it won't happen right away, it will still mathematically trend toward a two-party system.
So I want to add one thing that I like about ranked choice voting. Paul makes a lot of very good points there. I don't want to take away from it all. But one very nice side effect of ranked choice voting is the candidates stop being dicks toward each other as much.
Yeah.
Because if it is a point of I have to beat the person and get in two people and get over 50% to win, you're going to run negative ads. You're going to shit talk the opponent through and through all day long. But if you now need their audience to help you get over the hump, you're going to be a little bit nicer.
Right.
So at least American the political discourse, if nothing else, will get nicer, because then more people can run, more people can stay through, and more people, even though it's first past the post, as Paul said, if there's 6 people running, you don't want to be mean to any of them.
And there's another thing too, because you mentioned third parties, and I'm a supporter of third parties.
Me too.
It'd be a chance for organizations like Socialist Alternative, Democratic Socialists of America, Green Party, and yes, even the Libertarian Party to actually enter into the political environment and actually share their ideas with potential new voters that could inspire people to actually get involved. And in Chicago, if we had ranked choice voting, I think a lot of people would be less cynical and say like, okay, finally, new
And you
ideas.
wouldn't get destroyed. That's the huge thing, that if your life isn't
ideas.
destroyed when you run for office, more people of good faith will run.
Yeah. And like the more progressive people would get a better boost.
Yeah.
And
Which is why the Democratic Party
right,
will
which is why
never
we don't
implement
have it.
it.
We don't live in a democracy, people. Obviously, otherwise we would
live
have
in an
this
oligarchy.